Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Abhishek Mahajan. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. Prime Minister Narendra Modi terms India the most promising investment destination. Speaking at India-Japan Economic Forum, PM Modi says capital in India does not grow, it multiplies manifold. Prime Minister Modi to attend the 15th Annual Bilateral Summit in Tokyo, also to meet key leaders, trade, investment and cooperation in semiconductors on agenda. The White House says President Donald Trump is not happy with Russia's second worst strike on Kiev, which killed over 20 people. Zelensky urges Europe to clearly define security guarantees. And in sports hockey, Men's Asia Cup 2025 to kick-start from today in Bihar, India eyes its continental crown. Prime Minister Modi extends best wishes. Prime Minister Modi has begun his two-day Japan visit with attending India-Japan Economic Forum in Tokyo. Speaking at the forum, Prime Minister Modi explained the ties with Japan, which are strategic, powered by economic logic, and that India is the springboard for Japanese businesses in the global south.
And Japan's partnership is strategic and smart, powered by economic logic. We have turned shared interest into shared prosperity. India is the springboard for Japanese businesses to the global south. Together, we will shape the ASEAN century, Asian century, for stability.
And highlighting changes in defense and technology sector, Prime Minister said that Japan is a tech powerhouse and India is a talent powerhouse.
जापान टेक पावरहाउस है और भारत एक टैलेंट पावरहाउस है। भारत ने एआई, सेमीकंडक्टर, क्वांटम कंप्यूटिंग, बायोटेक और स्पेस में बोल्ड और एम्बिशियस इनिशिएटिव्स लिए हैं। जापान की टेक्नोलॉजी और भारत का टैलेंट मिलकर इस सदी के टेक रिवॉल्यूशन का नेतृत्व कर सकते हैं।
And Prime Minister Narendra Modi has begun his two-day visit to Japan. During his visit, PM Modi will attend the 15th India-Japan Annual Summit, where he will also meet Japanese Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba. Trade, investment, defense and science and technology will be the key agendas during PM Modi's visit to Japan. He will also meet Japanese industrialists and political leaders in Tokyo.
आपका हार्दिक स्वागत है और हम दिल से आशा करते हैं कि भारत और जापान के बीच और भी गहरी मित्रता और सहयोग स्थापित हो।
Prime Minister Modi received a rousing welcome with a cultural performance from the Indian diaspora. Prime Minister Modi acknowledged the performers with appreciation and exchange of smiles. And chants of Modi Modi and Bharat Mata Ki Jai echoed with the PM's arrival. An Indian diaspora shared their experiences on meeting Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Let's take a listen.
It was a very exciting meeting, and I could talk to him, I could shake a hand with him, and I am considering myself very fortunate.
The way he's connecting people, it's amazing. I'm very inspired by his personality.
It was very nice meeting the Prime Minister Modi today, and it's a very important time between India and Japan.
It's a lifetime moment. It's like a dream come true. I'm just have a goosebumps when see Modi ji in front of me. It's really very good moment of my life.
Wonderful, marvelous, and very exhilarating.
It felt very good to meet Modi ji in Japan.
It felt good to meet him, and I got his Ashirwad also. And the India and Japan's relationship are really good. I hope it continues. Jai Hind.
India and Japan have historically enjoyed very great diplomatic and cultural relations, and Modi ji is the epitome of all that. And I think he's going to take India to even greater heights on the global platform. We are very honored to have met him and gotten his Ashirwad today. Jai Hind.
And a lot of excitement was seen among Japanese nationals who dressed up in Rajasthani attire welcomed PM Modi in a traditional way. They also sang a Rajasthani folk bhajan for PM Modi. Let's listen in.
One of the highlights of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's special welcome in Tokyo was the manner in which Japanese and Indian cultures came together. I have with me these lovely Japanese ladies, beautifully dressed in Rajasthani attire. Prime Minister had a special interaction with them. Let's learn from them. How was their experience in particular? Ma'am, what was your experience like? What happened in the interaction?
Yeah, I was very nervous, but he was very gentle and he gave us very warm word. So I was very happy and very honored to be here.
मुझे भी बहुत नर्वस थी, पर मोदी जी ने कहा था कि आप गाना गा सकते हैं, तो मैंने कहा था कि हाँ जी.
Can you sing a few lines?
बारी जाओ रे बलिहारी जाओ रे भारत सतगुरु आंगन आया रे मेवारी जाओ रे.
Arikado, thank you very much for speaking with DD India. The beautiful cultural amalgamation between India and Japan as Prime Minister Narendra Modi begins his historic visit of Japan, of Tokyo and Sendai. With camera person Ankur, Shubhendu Ghosh for DD India.
And India and Japan share civilizational ties as cultures connect. How does it influence our food preferences? DD India correspondent Shubhendu Ghosh visits an Indian restaurant in Tokyo to find out more.
Food has the magical power to transcend boundaries. Today we are at a popular Indian restaurant in Tokyo to find out how Indian delicacies are making their way into the hearts of the Japanese. This is Nirvanam, an important stop for lovers of Indian food in Tokyo, starting in 2005 as the first authentic South Indian restaurant in Japan, bringing in the diverse flavors of India to Japanese and international audiences.
Japanese, they're very foodie people. They like all the food, especially they want to try the different kind of food and especially curries. But they need less spicy curries. And we introduce lots of South Indian food too. The Japanese people, they like.
Known for its authentic taste, traditional recipes and warm hospitality, Nirvanam has introduced countless Japanese customers to the diversity of Indian cuisine.
I like Indian foods for about 40 years. When I came to this restaurant, I found this restaurant very good. I like dal in general. And the most favorite dish is sambar. Yeah, sambar and sambar wada.
Spicy soup, spice curry. Yes, it's fresh for us. Because Japan is only soup, miso soup or soba or udon. So many spices is fresh for us. And this restaurant and the people is so fun and happy. So it's very interesting.
Beyond food, Nirvanam has played an important role as a cultural bridge between the peoples of India and Japan. With camera person Shailendra Chauhan, Shubhendu Ghosh, DD India, Tokyo.
And more news from Asian continent. Kim Kyon-hee, the wife of South Korea's ousted former President Yoon Suk-yeol, has been indicted for bribery and other charges on Friday. The charges against Kim, which are punishable by years in prison if she is found guilty, range from stock fraud to suspected bribery. Following the indictment, Kim apologized for causing concerns and said she would make no excuses and face trial. Both Yoon and Kim have been arrested and are in jail, with Yoon already undergoing trial on charges that include insurrection following his ouster in April over a botched bid to impose martial law in December. The couple faced separate investigations by special prosecutors appointed after Yoon's removal from office and since Liberal President Lee Jae-myung took office in early June. And special prosecutors investigating the country's martial law crisis also indicted on Friday former Prime Minister Han Duck-soo, who was appointed by Yoon on charges of abetting insurrection and committing perjury. And Thailand's Constitutional Court will decide on Friday whether to throw suspended Prime Minister Paetongtarn Shinawatra out of office over her handling of country's border row with Cambodia. Daughter of ex-Prime Minister Thaksin Shinawatra, Paetongtarn was suspended from office last month after being accused of failing to stand up for Thailand in a June call with powerful former Cambodian leader Hun Sen, audio of which was leaked online. Paetongtarn addressed Hun Sen as uncle and referred to a Thai military commander as her opponent, sparking a furious reaction in Thailand, where the armed forces hold huge sway. If the court sacks Paetongtarn, as it did her predecessor as Prime Minister a year ago, Thailand will face a political crisis with no obvious candidate on hand to lead the fragile ruling coalition in parliament. In Bangladesh, the interim government on Thursday announced the complete closure of 3 land ports and suspension of operational activities of another along the Bangladesh-India border in an effort to save taxpayers' money and ease burden on government's expenditure. 3 land ports, Chilahati Land Port in Nilphamari, Daulatganj Land Port in Chuadanga and Tegamuk Land Port in Rangmati, are being shut down as per the decision, while suspending operations at Bala Land Port in Habiganj. As per reports, the approval came in principle at the meeting of the Council of Advisors held, with Chief Advisor Professor Mohammad Yunus in chair at his office. Chief Advisor's Press Secretary Shafiqul Alam briefed reporters in Dhaka after the meeting. Earlier, the government committee recommended the complete closure of 3 unprofitable and inactive land ports and the suspension of operational activities at another port. Time now for a very short break, but still to come on this edition of DD India Live. The US approves a potential sale of long-range cruise missiles to Ukraine for an estimated $825 million after Russia's blitz on Kiev. The White House says Intel's deal with President Donald Trump to give US government a 10% stake in struggling chip maker is still under discussion. And in US Open, Yannick Sinner marches into US Open third round. Welcome back. You're watching DD India Live. I'm Abhishek Mahajan. Some more stories. White House said that US President Donald Trump is not happy with Russian strike on Ukrainian capital Kiev. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt in a press briefing said that Trump was unhappy but not surprised by the deadly strikes on Kiev.
Happy about this news, but he was also not surprised. These are 2 countries that have been at war for a very long time. Russia launched this attack on Kyiv, and likewise, Ukraine recently dealt a blow to Russia's oil refineries. They have taken out, as a matter of fact, 20% of Russia's oil refinery capacity over the course of their attacks throughout the month of August. So the president is continuing to watch this intently, and this killing, unfortunately, will continue as long as the war continues, which is why the president wants it to end. And that's why he's worked harder than anyone to end this war.
And Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky urged Western allies on Thursday to send a strong joint signal to Russian President Vladimir Putin after over 20 killed in one of the deadliest attacks on Kiev since 2022. Zelensky said Europe must clearly define security guarantees. Zelensky, in a virtual meeting with Polish President Karol Nawrocki and the leaders of Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania and Denmark, said that it was important to produce a clear definition of security guarantees for Ukraine as part of a plan to secure a peace settlement with Russia. He said Ukraine needed a solid basis for security guarantees that US President Donald Trump has agreed to and that have been under discussion for a week. Zelensky further said Ukraine believed Kremlin leader Vladimir Putin was still interested only in continuing the conflict. Now, the US State Department has approved a potential sale of air-launched cruise missiles and related equipment to Ukraine for an estimated $825 million. The potential sale of 3,350 extended-range attack munition missiles includes GPS guidance kits and electronic warfare defenses for the weapons. The package also includes support equipment, mission planning software, spares and technical support. Kiev will make the purchase with funding from Denmark, the Netherlands and Norway and a loan guarantee from the United States. The proposed sale will improve Ukraine's capability to meet current and future threats by further equipping it to conduct self-defense and regional security missions. A U.S. Federal Reserve Governor Lisa Cook has filed a lawsuit on Thursday to challenge Donald Trump's move to fire her as the president intensified pressure on the independent central bank. Trump had published a letter on his Truth Social platform Monday evening stating that he was removing Cook from her role and citing accusations of false statements on her mortgage agreements. Cook seeks a decision to confirm her status as a Fed governor, allowing her to continue in her role. Cook also seeks an outcome safeguarding Fed officials' congressionally mandated independence. Cook on Thursday also asked for a temporary restraining order, declaring that Trump's attempt to fire her is unlawful and preventing the Fed from removing her for now. A hearing on that motion has been set for Friday morning. And the US will begin implementing new tariffs on small packages from around the world from today, ending a loophole that has allowed billions of dollars of goods to enter the country duty-free. President Donald Trump's administration is abolishing a rule on Friday that allows packages valued at $800 or below to enter the United States duty-free. Instead, packages will either be subject to the tariff level applicable to their country of origin or face a specific duty ranging from $80 to $200 per item. Postal services, including in France, Germany, Italy, India, Australia and Japan, earlier said most US-bound packages would no longer be accepted. On Tuesday, the United Nations Universal Postal Union said 25 member countries' postal operators had suspended outbound postal services to the country. Now, Brazil and Mexico plan to sign complementary trade deals in August of next year. Brazilian Vice President Geraldo Alckmin said on Thursday after a meeting with Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum. Speaking at a press conference in Mexico City, Alckmin explained that authorities signed preliminary agreements in agriculture, health and biofuels. Calling the meeting with Sheinbaum very good, Alckmin said that two had also discussed biofuels and potential battery production. Sheinbaum also expressed interest in Brazil's biofuel mandate, which orders more biofuel mixed into fossil fuels. Brazil cannot negotiate a broader free trade deal with Mexico without going through the Mercosur trade bloc. Now, a group of 33 Colombian soldiers were freed on Thursday after being held captive for 3 days in a southeastern Amazonian community home to drug crops and dissident guerrillas. Delegations from the government, the Ombudsman's office and the United Nations mediated the release of the soldiers after the soldiers engaged in fierce clashes with the guerrillas on Monday. Local villagers blocked roads to prevent the departure of the troops, an act that the leftist government of Gustavo Petro deemed a kidnapping. The authorities initially reported that 34 soldiers had been detained but later revised the number down to 33. The mass detention of troops has become commonplace in southern Colombia. On to some business updates now. White House said the deal that struggling chipmaker Intel struck with President Donald Trump to give U.S. government a 10% stake in the company is still under discussion. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt told reporters the deal was a creative solution proposed by Trump that the Department of Commerce was putting into action.
The Intel deal is still being ironed out by the Department of Commerce. The T's are still being crossed, the I's are still being dotted. It's very much still under discussion. But the president's thinking, I can share with you, is certainly to ensure that the United States government is making our country wealthy again and is benefiting from some of these deals. And it's a creative solution.
Sports now. The Indian government began National Sports Day celebrations on Friday as a 3-day mass movement of sports and fitness. Sports Minister Mansukh Mandavia paid floral tributes to hockey legend Major Dhyan Chand, whose birth anniversary on 29th August is celebrated as the National Sports Day. Minister Mandavia leads the Pan-India sports movement from 29th to 31st August under the inspiring theme Ek Ghanta Khel Ke Maidan Mein, which means 1 hour in playground. It seeks to spread awareness about the importance of dedicating at least 60 minutes daily to physical activity.
सारे देश में 3 दिन का खेल महोत्सव का प्रारंभ हुआ। आज कॉलेज, स्कूल, सभी एथलीट, सभी फेडरेशन, युवा, महिलाएं, सभी लोगों ने सुबह में 1 घंटे के लिए खेल के मैदान में रह के मोदी जी के फिट इंडिया के संदेश को आगे बढ़ाया है। देश एक स्पोर्टिंग नेशन बने, इस दिशा में कार्य का प्रारंभ हुआ है।
And on National Sports Day, Prime Minister Modi posted on X, and I quote him here, "Greetings on National Sports Day. Today we pay homage to Major Dhyan Chand ji. It is an occasion to compliment all those passionate about sports and those who have played for India. Our government is committed to supporting sports and ensuring more youth are able to play and shine." And the Indian men's hockey team will begin their campaign against China at the Asia Cup in Rajgir town on Friday. India are drawn in Pool A alongside China, Japan and Kazakhstan. India will look to reclaim the continental crown and also secure direct qualification for 2026 FIH Hockey World Cup. The Men's Asia Cup has been one of the most prestigious events in Asian hockey, with defending champions South Korea being the most successful team with 5 titles, while India runs second with 3. In the last edition, India finished 3rd. Well, that's all we have in this edition of DD India Live. But do let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. Scan the QR code on the screen to download now. And we'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Abhishek Mahajan. From all of us here in Delhi, thanks for watching DD India Live.